case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for.
In the 1929 Louisiana Supreme Court case Willetts Wood Products Company v. Concordia Land and Timber Company, a dispute arose over timber removal from a parcel of land that had changed ownership. The plaintiff, now the landowner, sought a court-ordered deadline for the defendant to remove the timber, arguing that it was separate property from the land. Previously, the defendant owned the land and had mortgaged it. The land was then sold several times, with each sale explicitly stating that the timber remained the property of the defendant. Ultimately, the plaintiff acquired the land, and the timber dispute headed to court. The lower court sided with the plaintiff and set a 4-year deadline for the defendant to remove the timber, which began on the judgment date. The defendant appealed the decision, arguing that there was no contractual agreement between the two parties regarding the removal of the timber, and therefore the court had no authority to establish a deadline. The defendant claimed that the timber had equal rank and dignity with the land itself, and thus could not be considered a separate property. However, the Louisiana Supreme Court disagreed and upheld the lower court's decision. It determined that the timber was indeed separate property and that the owner of the land had the right to set a removal deadline. The court affirmed the 4-year deadline, amending it to start from the date the judgment became final, and ruled that the defendant must pay the costs in both courts. The plea of estoppel was dismissed as it had no merit in this case.
Case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for. Visit lsd.law, elevate your mind. Leave the stress of class.